guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be drawing a replacement spread for a spread that I already have, and I thought I would just kind of film it and show you how I go through the process. Also because I had talked about making this spread before and I was originally going to film it and I didn't. So now that I need a new one, I thought I would do it this time. So this spread is my library loan spread. And as you can see, I've only got like 4 lines left because I kind of go through a lot of library books, and I wanted to make a new spread before I actually ran out of room so that I was ready to continue on to the next spread. So first, I thought I would just explain really quick kind of how I did this spread. And I've seen different spreads, and I was actually inspired by another Instagrammer who has a spread that looks actually nothing like mine. Hers is way prettier, but I was inspired by hers. I will try and remember to link her name or her Instagram handle. But I decided that it would be really smart because I have books that I get from the physical library where I live, as well as Overdrive ebooks. And I was always forgetting when things were due. I would sometimes save due dates in TickTick. I would sometimes write them on my calendar, and I thought it might make sense to just write everything here and also to have a list of the titles that I had so that if I was looking for a new book to read, I could just come and refer to this, especially in the case of Overdrive books. Physical books, I can obviously just go into my room and see them on the shelf. But for Overdrive, this was really helpful, and this also makes it so that I don't forget when books are due. So you'll see a very large section in the middle here that are just labeled with an L. And that means that they come from my physical library. They are physical paperback books, some are hardback. And my library is weird. They actually closed during the summer, and so all of the library books that I got within like a 2-week period had the same due date like 2 months later. So all of my books are due on the 12th of September, but I just wrote them all in here. As you can see, I have not actually started reading any of these because I've been trying to work on some of my Overdrive books. So Overdrive are all of the ones that have the O next to them, and if I read them, I check it off. If I don't have time to read it, but I still want to read it, then I'll write down if I want to put it on hold again. And so far, all of the books that I have, I want to put on hold again. Some of them I've actually gotten again. So you'll see like this one is repeated, this one's repeated. Actually, a bunch of them are. So one of my goals for the next week or two is to try and get through some of these books. So that's basically how the system goes. I just have where it's from, when it's due, the title, and whether or not I read it or want to put it on hold again. And if I actually have a book that I decide I don't ever want to read this, or at least not in the foreseeable future, then I will probably just do like a check mark or like a dash through it or something like that, just so I know that I'm not planning to put it on hold again soon. Now, I do not actually put any books that I have on hold because I almost always have like 5 to 8 books on hold with Overdrive, and I don't write them down on here because that would just take up so much space. I would probably go through one of these like every month or two, which is ridiculous. And I just made this before July and I'm already at the end of it. So that kind of gives you an idea of how this goes. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably end up time-lapsing this. I don't know how long it'll take me to actually draw it out, but show you kind of how I go about doing this particular spread so you can see, because I know some people, for example, they pencil everything in first and some people don't, and so I'll show you how I go about doing new spreads. So Okay, so that was pretty quick and painless, except for the fact that when I use my microns with this particular ruler, I tend to get a lot of ink buildup, and I haven't used my ruler in a while and I forgot. So you will notice I got all kinds of smudges, but you know what? It's fine. It just adds to the character, right? So yeah, this is pretty much the exact same. Really, and actually I messed up this. I should have written do, but you'll notice that I kind of went for the vague outline that I had before, but I did not copy it exactly. So what I did do is I recentered. So since I had already written this out and I knew I was going to be using basically the same font, I just saw that I was too close to the left here, so I just scooched it over and it actually came out pretty centered. I'm actually really pleased with that. I did use a different line weight here, whereas I used the same one here, and I went back to a thicker one for these lines, but overall it's a pretty utilitarian spread, so I just wanted to have another one in here to be on the safe side. And one thing that I will do, because this is a continuation, so I'm going to check, this is page 183 here, and this is on page 128. So what I'm going to do is page thread. So I just do a little separation and then I write in the page of the new spread, and you'll see that I do this kind of a lot in my journal whenever I have stuff like this. So now I'm going to write and refer back to page 128 here, so that no matter what page I'm on, I can find the previous or the new iteration of this spread. And this is something I've referred to before in some videos. This is something I use quite frequently, and this is actually the page threading that Kim of Tiny Ray of Sunshine has talked about. She has an entire article on page threading and notebook threading, and it's really, really helpful, especially when you have spreads that you keep creating whenever you fill one up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my original somewhere. Here we go. So this is my Library and Overdrive tracker, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the same thing as I did before. So we have page 183, so that no matter where I look, so if I look in my index, if I look on my current spread, or if I look on the new spread, I know exactly where to find the previous or future edition of the spread. So that was just a pretty quick video, I hope. If you guys have any questions about page threading, I will link the article that Kim wrote in the contents below, so definitely check it out. It is super helpful. She's got several iterations of threading in general, so it can be really helpful if you have multiple bullet journals where you've got spreads throughout all of them, or if you need to like archive stuff. It's this really helpful article, so I will link that below. I will also link the person who inspired my tracker for this, and hers is way, way nicer looking, so definitely check hers out because it's gorgeous. And if you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.